I'm Sandy Hall, 4-H Extension Agent in Nash County, and the program that we're going to talk about today is our Medical Academy. We are probably in our 5th year of doing this collaboration with Nash Healthcare Systems, and it begun by my volunteer who is head of labor and delivery. We were just having a conversation about how difficult it is when you're hiring professionals, and that they were having a shortage in nursing. And she was going through the hiring process at the time, and she said, we really need to start young and helping youth get started and directed in a field. And so at the time, the First Aid in Action curriculum, it was actually being piloted. It was on the national website where you could just go and download a few lessons and try it and give some feedback. So therefore we downloaded that, and I shared this with her. Well, she loved it. She got really excited about it. And what it has grown into today, she actually takes this curriculum. Each child gets a copy of the curriculum, but she divides the lessons up among doctors and nurses and staff people at Nash Healthcare Systems. It has turned into a 3-day academy from 9 to 3 daily. They are dropped off and picked up. We provide each child with a curriculum. Each child is given a stipend based on the amount of money that they pay for the workshop. The clinic costs about $50 for 3 days. But each child is given a stipend to go to one of our local shops here that sells scrubs, and they are to purchase a scrub top because they are required to wear scrubs every day. So they're given some rules and things. So they're also made to feel like a person on staff there. They're also given name badges that they have to wear the whole time because they've got to be identified. So you really, you're going to realize that they are children or youth that are in the class, walking in among the group in the hospital, but they do have some similarities so that they fit in and get the idea of what it feels like to be dressed like a professional in the hospital. But the youth, the parents pay for this class, but the hospital does provide, the last part in this book is where they make a first aid kit. Every bit of the supplies are provided through the hospital, and down to the actual bag that they get to take home and what's stored, and it's got Nash Healthcare Systems. So that is a huge expense that the hospital takes on, and then the $50 takes care of the curriculum, the lunches each day, that stipend for their scrubs, and any other materials. One of the biggest strengths, I have to say, is the connection of that I've made with volunteers, and making that connection with a partnership like the hospital. I mean, just by simply having this conversation created this great big partnership now, and every year they seek 4-H coming in and us doing this program. So that has been a huge, it's not another group out there that they're asking to come in and partner with. They're asking 4-H to partner with. And yes, that probably has something to do with having a volunteer that's well educated about 4-H and what it's done to her family and her children. But they value that relationship. Each year they have to do an assessment of what they're doing in the community, what their involvements are with workforce development. This camp is highlighted in their report that they have to do wherever they have to do that report. This camp is highlighted as a partnership, as a way to recruit future workforce, and to make that connection with youth. The children are also exposed to other opportunities that they can volunteer at the hospital. So they learn that it doesn't have to end at this 3-day camp. You can come back and volunteer through their volunteer program that they seek youth coming in. And so it kind of makes that connection happen where that it just doesn't end here. We can continue to come back and do more, because a lot of times they want more. They realize this is something they're interested in, and they like to make, they don't want it to end. They want to come back, so they find out how to volunteer somewhere else. Some of the challenges that some agents might face, that I see as a plus in some sense, is when I met with Mary and I pretty much hand this over to her, I've got to trust that she's going to do her part, and then I'm going to come in and do the part she wants me to do. And basically she wants me, on site. She wants me to make sure the paperwork's done that they have required. She wants to make sure all the lunches are there when she needs them there, and they are picked up when they're supposed to be picked up. And that's just my responsibility. But I have to trust that she's going to do her part. And there's been some times that we've run into situations because she's head of labor and delivery. She's not been where she needs to be, or things have gotten off the daily schedule because you're dealing with doctors and nurses who their schedules change instantly. So things have had to switch based on what we have scheduled, and you just have to be flexible. So that could be a challenge that you face. When working with the hospital, knowing what they do, you've got to be willing to work with, and be flexible with their schedule. But they do stay committed to doing this. They just make the changes that they need to make. The greatest impacts in the program is the partnerships that we've gained through other organizations that are big, like the EMS department, like the Sheriff's Department, where we've been able to take the same concept, not necessarily a curriculum that's available, but we've been able to create another camp or an academy. And also another great strength is Mary being involved in 4-H already and teaching this medical academy. She pushes the idea of youth get involved in 4-H and other aspects. She tells them about the clubs. She tells them about the livestock project. She tells them what her children does in 4-H. And we've had some of the children join 4-H because of that. And most of the kids that attend these academies or camps or any of our clinics, they are not our traditional 4-H kids. They're the community at large, so it's really marketed, the 4-H program.
Through the years, we have seen an impact in a variety of ways from this program. One of the things I would like to mention is that we've given these young people an opportunity to look at careers in healthcare. And I know for a fact that we have a young lady getting ready to graduate from nursing school that participated in the early academy that when we initiated this program. And I think that's phenomenal that we have somebody that came as a young person and had a thought while she was here about a healthcare career, and now she's getting ready to enter the workforce to provide that professional care to patients who we so need. I mean, nurses are just in such demand to provide that care. So I think that's exciting. I think the second impact that it has had is that it has given the hospital an opportunity to participate in the community. People come to our hospital for care. They come here to get all kinds of health care. But it's important to see that our hospital cares about what's going on in the community as well. And this 4-H Medical Academy really opens the door to that. And it says, hey, we really want young people to be exposed to some basic skills, and what can we do to make that happen. So I really do think that that's been, a second major impact. I would also say that our hospital has been working for a couple of years in trying to achieve magnet status, which is in a very esteemed recognition that any hospital and their nursing departments can receive. And so it's a several-year process to work through that application process and and to apply and to be recognized. And one of the things that we have submitted into our packet, which will be submitted at some point this year, is the work that we have done in this medical academy. I think it's also given an opportunity for our nurses here to step up into some leadership roles. You know, hey, I can teach this class, or I want to come and be involved, and I want to make a difference, you know, in these young people's lives, and so that they can see what it is like to be a nurse, and I want to be a part of that. So it's given us an opportunity to allow nurses within our different departments here to say, hey, I want to be involved. And that's been real exciting to me. In the beginning, it was like, okay, I got to have help, I got to have help. And you know, now I'm having more people volunteer than I really need. As you know, we kind of dealt a little bit with last year, but I don't want to turn anybody away. I want everybody to be a part, because to me that's exciting. You know, they're seeing that they can make a difference. So I think that probably just kind of summarizes it all up. It's given us an opportunity to be in the community. It's given us an opportunity to expose young people to healthcare careers, which we've seen the results of that and will in a few short months with the young lady graduating. And it gives us an opportunity to utilize this program in our magnet application and our magnet journey. And I guess one final note, I have a real passion personally for young people to sort of learn a little bit about, you know, how choices can make a difference in their life. Choices about drinking and choices about drugs. And our young people today live in a world where things are readily accessible to them with technology. And so we really have a sort of a theme that we promote through this medical academy about saying no to drugs and about saying no to alcohol and trying to make the right choice for their health and safety as they go through their adolescent time frame of their life. And I think we've made an impact there as well. We've had a lot of good questions. We try to have a session where the police come and participate in some talks, and so we bring them into this as well. And we've done that a little bit differently each year to just have some creativity to the program. And I think that, to me, personally, you know, in my passion, I think that you can never go wrong when you help a young person see what results can happen, you know, when you make a bad choice.
Well, 4-H is the main promotion. Everything that the youth receive, from the notebooks to their writing journals, everything is marketed. The Clover, the extension brand, a key volunteer tying it into 4-H. She's constantly saying, and you can do this in 4-H, and this first aid kit will be useful when you're showing livestock. Bring it with you when you do your livestock project, because you never know when you're going to have an accident. So she's always tying it in. My presence, being a part of the camp, and not just a drop-off and walking away, but being there and making sure everything's going where it needs to go, making that contact with the parents and the youth, and making sure they understand what 4-H is about. So just, there's different aspects of making sure that the brand is highly visible, but the Clover is always there.